Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere east of the riotous Los Angeles, California. My name is BrianEngelman. Today is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025, and this is the TNAM Daily Show here on the new American media, because the old American media has failed you. We're going to break down what's going on with the riots out in California, of course, and we're going to scan through any other news that may be occurring. If you think there are some stories that are super important and we should cover, drop a mention in the comments section. We have a very active comments section. We have regulars. Belly on up to the bar. Tell me what you're having, and let's get the show started. Here we go.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the show today. Of course, Mr. Nimbus waited until the show began for him to come over and let out a little meow. He's not feeling too well today. Oh, I woke up to about an hour plus of cleaning. Poor little guy, when he's not feeling well, he lets you know. All over the place. You want to jump up here? I don't think you're in a jumping mood. Not exactly how I intended to start the show. But let me pick him up, see if he wants to join the program. You want me to lift you up? All right. To the regular viewers, you know Mr. Nimbus. He is a valued member of the team, isn't he? Here we go. There you go. Nim's had a rough day. But just let me remind you, this is a good time, like always, to consider adopting a shelter cat. This guy was a neighborhood cat in Los Angeles, where all these riots are occurring. You know, rescued him from the mean city streets and brought him into a relatively chill location. So, you too can make a difference. Oh, this guy's had such a tough day. Much like the residents of Los Angeles. And we're going to break it all down for you. Also, we're going to talk about RFK Jr. and what he's done with the mandates. He is, I'm sorry, not the mandates, but he has removed a whole bunch of people from their positions. And we wonder what this is going to do to health policy as the Director of Health and Human Services. All right. Hello, Deb. Hello, David, and others. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. The New American Media is in these following locations at the bottom of the screen. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odysee, Twitch, Kick, D Live, and YouTube. Search the New American Media and hit the notification bell and check out some of our, I don't know, what are we at, 1,800 videos? Please do that. Our X account is at American_media_. We're on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM chat. And then we're the Agree to Disagree show on Spotify and Apple. If anybody wants to toss something in the tip jar, we are right here on Patreon at the New American Media, on Venmo and Cash App at BrianEngelman, and then on PayPal at Fuzz Installments. Oh, poor Nimbus. He's been just weak and not doing great. God bless the inventor of that Bissell cleaner, though. For a house that doesn't have a lot of carpet, he sure seems to find a lot of it. Oh, goodness. But yes, best wishes, Nimbus. The crew is wishing you to get better and feel good. So we shall see. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's on the Instagram feed for the New American Media. We share stories all the time. If you wanted a special update on what's happening in the news, you just need to follow the New American Media on Instagram, and you will get a preview of what the show is about. Did it come up here? Yes, it did. Now, where did I go? There I am. Okay, cool. So I believe this might be the place where I left off yesterday. Representative Anna Paulina Luna says, I'm filing legislation to designate Antifa a terrorist organization. Peaceful protest is one thing, but masked violence and coordinated terror campaigns are un-American. Andy No says, Antifa International announces a June 8 direct action to attack the ICE facility in San Francisco. The planned riot is organized in support of the insurrection in Los Angeles. I did cover this yesterday, but I'll start here and then I'll move forward since it's relevant. How President Trump is doing on the issue of immigration. Whoop, where's the volume?
Immigration, it's gone up like a rocket. Compare now versus 8 years ago during Trump's first term. Look at this. In his first term, Trump was way underwater at minus 21 points. But look at this. He's up over 20 points. Some other polls even have it a little bit higher than that. There is no issue on which Trump is doing so much better than he was in his first term, more than the issue of immigration program to deport those here illegally. Look at this, 54% approval. The American electorate believe that the Democrats don't have a clue on the issue of immigration. 3 different polls for you across the board. They all tell the same story. Republicans lead on the issue of immigration. No matter what poll you look at, no matter which way you cut it, the American public is with the Republicans. The American public is with Donald Trump, and to a much greater extent than they were in term number 1. And it's not just on the broad issue of immigration, it's on the specifics as well. This is Trump's net approval rating on immigration. It's gone up like a rocket.
Up like a rocket. And we voted for this. Babylon B crushing it again. Trump responds to mostly peaceful protests with a mostly peaceful military. I love the argument like, oh, the presence of ICE is causing this. No, the presence of illegal aliens is causing this. Democrats flooding America with non-citizens so they can get more voting power in Congress is causing this. If the Supreme Court, I believe it's at the Supreme Court now, I'm trying to figure out exactly how they define it, but having illegal residents in your city giving you more votes in Congress. Let me just ask Grok. I got to figure out the right way to ask this question. You know what? I think I will share this clip in a minute. All right, I'll do it. No, not here. Let me do it. Are you one of those people that have a lot of open tabs in your life? Well, by the way, the topic of today's show is going to be trying to figure out who's pulling the puppet strings, obviously. You got Antifa, who's handing out the gas masks? Is Walmart involved? There's a lot of accusations. George Soros, the usual suspects, the regular cast of characters. Let me ask Grok. Is SCOTUS reviewing illegal aliens counting on census for congressional seats? Question mark. Okay, not actively reviewing a case whether undocumented immigrants, often referred to as illegal aliens, would be counted in the U.S. Census for purpose of congressional apportionment. However, it's been a point of contention in recent years and related legal challenges providing context. U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, and the 14th Amendment. Okay, there we go. Mandates congressional seats apportioned based on the whole number of persons in each state. Historically, this include all residents, regardless of citizenship or immigration status, as confirmed by the Census Bureau's practice since 1970. Why would that be their practice? Oh, excuse me. Not 1970, 1790. In 2020, the Trump admin issued a memorandum to exclude undocumented aliens from the census count used for apportionment, challenged in court in a 3-judge panel, and then district court and a northern judge of California ruled it unconstitutional, stating the enumeration clause requires counting all persons. The case reached the Supreme Court, but in December 2020, the court dismissed it as premature due to uncertainties about implementation and lack of standing, as the policy's impact was speculative at the time. Biden, on his first day in office of January 21, issued an executive order reversing the Trump memorandum, ensuring that all residents, including undocumented aliens, are counted for apportionment. Since then, no new case has been brought to the Supreme Court specifically on this issue based on available information. In 24, House of Representatives passed the Equal Representation Act, aiming to exclude non-citizens from the census count for apportionment and add a citizenship question to the 2030 census. A similar Senate bill, this is all according to Grok. A similar Senate bill was introduced but has not passed. These efforts could potentially lead to future litigation reaching the Supreme Court, especially if they conflict with the constitutional requirement to count all persons. I mean, doesn't that mean people that are supposed to be here? All right, so no. Anyway, Trump is responding to mostly peaceful protests with mostly peaceful military. Whew, all right. Yeah, the Marines have been activated is kind of what was on my mind. Marines. Why are the Marines on my mind? Here we go. There's music here. These are Marines. Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center in 29 Palms, California, joining the National Guard. They will not be conducting law enforcement activity unless the president invokes the Insurrection Act. 29 Palms is outside of Joshua Tree National Park in the desert and about 2.5-hour drive from downtown LA. Yeah, if you call send in the clowns. Oh no, send in the Marines. No joke. It's no joke. Come on, you know the thing. It's the Marines. So we shall see. Hey, remember this? It's got music. These are the Rooftop Koreans. The 1992 LA riots. The Rooftop Koreans had their stuff on lockdown. They weren't going to get blown to smithereens and robbed into bankruptcy. Oh, no, they were not. You know, they say originally gangs were put together so that they could defend their neighborhoods against outsiders and usurpers. My, oh my, has that gone by the wayside? Where gangs now destroy their communities. But then again, if you're not a resident of the community, you're just an illegal alien. It's not your community. You're just temporarily here. You don't give a shit. That's what people used to say when I lived in the hood. You know, I would. It felt like day after day, you just watch people pull up to the side of the curb and they'd be eating fast food and they just chuck their trash out onto the yard. Like, excuse me. Large Section 8 component. And when you're on Section 8, you don't own, you don't care, you don't feel the same way as a homeowner that wants to participate in the homeowners association, wants to keep the trash up off the ground, wants to paint over the graffiti, wants to keep blooming flowers and green grass and driveways without potholes. You care because you're invested in it. If you're not invested, you don't care the same. It's very similar. You know, I was thinking about Quiet Riot, Kenneth. I was thinking about like jokes because I want to work these riots in somehow. And I want to work in how, like, trying to think about doing a misdirection. I want to talk about cicadas, but then twist it at the end and be like, of course, I'm talking about the riots in Los Angeles. You know, like every 7 to 13 years, this stuff happens. It's loud, it's noisy, it's annoying, it's frustrating. No, I'm not talking about the cicadas. I'm talking about the LA riots. But I don't know if misdirection is exactly how to put it together. So that's our job. How do we make cicadas coming out every few years and riots happening in Los Angeles every few years? I have the kernel of a joke. I have a premise. I'm not sure how to craft it. And I'll be performing in a little bit, so I got to put it together. But yeah, back to the story. It's like living in a college town. You say, oh, Section 8. Well, what you got against poor people? Fine. Set that aside for a second. I also lived in a college town for 8 years. I graduated in 4. I stayed 4 more. And trust me, the renters, the college kid renters, didn't give a shit about their house, the upkeep, the trash, the neighborhood. They didn't care. They were temporarily there. And that stuff makes a difference. That stuff makes a big difference. And the Koreans were very invested in Los Angeles. They were not going to let them burn their buildings down. Hell no. You're not looting me, they said. You know, all that Kyle Rittenhouse energy. I'm not letting it happen. Not in my backyard. Yeah, this meme is pretty great. Yeah, and one of the reasons you want to follow the New American Media on Instagram is because you're going to get access to the dankest memes, things you can copy, just save to your phone, and then share it out on your social network. This guy. Hey, the coexist people are burning shit again. Yeah. All right, we're talking about warfare globally. I mean, I guess we've been away from it for a couple days because we're focused on domestic riots. But Smedley Butler calling out the military-industrial complex, mostly forgotten in history. Let's remember this.
A quote,
Please.
So he says, I spent 33 years and 4 months in active military service, and during that period, I spent most of my time as a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street, and the bankers. Butler wrote in 1955. Then he goes on, in short, I was a racketeer, a gangster for capitalism. I helped make Mexico safe for American oil interests. I helped make Haiti and Cuba a decent place for national city bank boys to collect revenues. I helped in the raping of a dozen Central American republics for the benefit of Wall Street. I helped purify Nicaragua for the International Banking House of Brown Brothers in 1902 to 1912. I brought light to the Dominican Republic for the American sugar interests in 1916. I helped make Honduras right for the American fruit companies in 1903. In China in 1927, I helped set it up so that Standard Oil went on its way unmolested. Looking back on it, I feel I might have given Al Capone a few hints. The best he could do was to operate in 3 city districts. We Marines operated on 3 continents. Can I quote?
Please.
You know, some of the comments, oh, another Marxist ad. Who pays for this? Well, yeah, Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins as well. War is a Racket. Smedley Butler's maybe his most famous quote. It is important to kind of think about who profits when nations go to war. As we send in the Marines, as we send in the National Guard, we try to figure out what America is and what America stands for. All right, here's the National Guard with an epic takedown running after a rioter.
Once we're done with this live shot right here, we're going to go head over that way. You see, it appears to be California National Guard. Ooh, they're taking somebody down right now.
Right.
I don't know if they saw. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who those guys are or what they did, but you can see that appears to be. Is that California National? If it says ERO on their back, that would be ICE. That stands for Enforcement and Removal Operation. I can't tell. It's some sort of law enforcement, and they.
FAFO activated. This is exactly what we voted for. People are generally excited to see a little bit of activity instead of just ceding your nation to the Democrats who organized the 2020 Summer of Love riots. We're not going back. We're not doing that shit again. We're not doing it. We can't. America voted to not let Democrats near positions of power again for this exact reason.
Clearly did not. Yeah, they clearly did not like what the guy in the yellow was doing right there, because they ran right at him and they took him down. So we'll ask and we'll see if we can find out what that guy did. It looked like he was loitering near a vehicle. Oh, it looks like a firework just got thrown in. So that's more of what we're. Yeah,
they're saying the guy was throwing fireworks and stuff at the cops, and he was easy to spot because he wore bright yellow.
You're seeing multiple fireworks coming into that frame there, Trace, and that's what we were just dealing with about 30 minutes ago while we were live on Hannity. We had fireworks being thrown in our direction, in LAPD's direction.
And I'll tell you, Los Angeles, man, they burned down. There used to be a community post office box at the corner on a Independence Day celebration. They get really rowdy, and they blocked all the streets and were setting crazy stuff off, like professional fireworks in the neighborhood. Hello, Grace. Welcome. First time we've seen you comment in the group. Hello, hello. Yeah, and the community burned down the post office box at the corner. And so they didn't replace it. They just took it out, and now you lost the ability to drop something off in the post office box. Just removed it. That's what happens when you act a fool. You know, there was a Fedco near where I used to live, and that was looted during 1992. They shut down, turned into a Target. But yeah, there was lots of footage of them pushing shopping carts down the roads with televisions and all sorts of stuff that they looted from the Fedco. So when riots happen, you know, people decide they don't want to continue investing in the neighborhood. And then the neighborhood complains, well, I can't, there's it's a food desert over here. There's like nobody, there's nothing in my neighborhood. Yeah, why is there nothing in your neighborhood? Did you rob it blind? Did you burn it down? You know? Did you destroy it? I scrolled past a post from Anomaly today, and I met up with him at the convention center for Politicon. I met up with him at Anaheim Convention Center for the NAM convention. Met up with him at the LAX Marriott or Sheraton, whichever one it was, for Conscious Life Expo. But he used to live in LA. Now he's been in Orange County for a while. It's an hour south and closer to Anaheim, really. But he was just posting, there's two different types of people. People that want to live in filth. All the hipsters would complain in Echo Park when you'd show up and try to clean up the homeless junkie stuff. He's like, some people want to live in a normal place where you can hang out with your kids and have things be safe and clean. And other people want to live like absolute animals. It's just a different mindset. I don't get it. I don't get the mind virus that leads people to have such low expectations of themselves, of their communities. Yeah, AJ was just kind of like throwing his hands up. He's like, that's why I left LA. Like, LA people are trash. It's just, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's just like, there's a lot of people in LA that they live this way. They throw their trash out the window and they don't care. They don't even see it. They don't care about the graffiti. They don't even see it. They don't care about the homeless person they're stepping over on the sidewalk in the hypodermic needle that almost shot up into their Crocs. They just don't even see it. They don't even care. I mean, if you want to talk NPCs, how about the people that don't even see the danger, the disgusting filth, the criminality, and the danger surrounding them? And it's weird. It's really weird to see people that don't care. I don't understand that mindset. I probably never will. But that ain't me. Ooh, I should do that. I got to learn how to do the neck thing. The I don't know how to do the I was yelled at because I was working on making the grass green at one of the buildings in my HOA. And planting flowers where it used to just be dirt that was being used as a cat litter box, and just everything was. And I'm fixing up the community. You know, that's what I did. I spent a decade and a half working to make LA a cleaner, nicer, safer place. At least my neighborhood, I made it cleaner, nicer, safer. And this lady came out, started yelling, what are you doing over here? Bah, 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 bah. Pretty sure she threw out a racial component as well. It was an older black lady. And it was me and Alan. He was with a landscaping company. And then he sold it to Octavio, but Octavio was his point person the whole time anyway. But I believe there was a bit of a racial component, but she was like, burp, 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 burp. And I remember just yelling, what are you doing? Don't mess with anything over here. This is the way we like it. This is the ghetto Brianna. Banana. Brian's always been like a one-syllable word. Brian. You could get fancy and say Brian. You could get super fancy and go Brian. She found a fourth syllable. Brianna. This is the ghetto Brianna. I'm like, it ain't anymore. I don't know what you're used to tolerating. Not on my watch. This is my neighborhood now. You want to get involved and dedicate, God, over 15 years, it had to be thousands of hours. You want to get involved and dedicate thousands of hours? Have at it. Let's go. Otherwise, sit down and shut up, lady. This isn't the ghetto, lady. We're painting up that disgusting graffiti on the front of your building, like it or not. All those planter boxes with busted up bricks missing. You know what we did? We got somebody in to replace all of the missing bricks at all of the buildings. And I'm telling you, it was actually a bigger problem than you would imagine. Front porch, back porch, bricks lining this and that. Man, we demolished and rebuilt. We added the missing bricks. Then we filled up the planter beds and made sure that they were watered a couple times a week and that it was green and it felt good coming home and there was vibrancy and it wasn't just dust and dirt and burnt out grass and looking like Tijuana, looking like a hellhole, looking like a ghetto Brianna. I used to do walks with Alan. We had 25 buildings. It would take 3 hours to do half the community, 2 hours. Because as we walked, it was like, these gutters are falling off. We got just a whole checklist of things. All right, we got to get this fixed. There's a huge pothole here in the driveway. Someone's going to bust the suspension on their car. We got to get this fixed. And what's going on over here? We got to replace these vents. Looks like water is leaking down here. We got to figure out what's going on with the roof. What's the irrigation? Why is there a big puddle here? We got to dig this up, trench it, put some new piping in, set it on a drip irrigation timer so that it waters at 3 a.m. because during a drought watch, they wouldn't let you water. So you'd have to water at like the perfect time and just for a minute or two. And then it wouldn't all evaporate and go get wasted. We spent less money. Our stuff was greener. Everything was better when we put it on a drip irrigation system timer. But we had to run the electric for that. We had to run the tubing. We had to connect that and put it in a lockbox in the laundry rooms. Renovated the laundry rooms because they looked like prison rape cells. It looked like a scene out of Shawshank Redemption where he gets cornered doing laundry or something by a couple crumb bombs. And in fact, there was an attack in the building right next to me while I was living there. And that really ramped me up. I'm like, the senior lead officer said, Brian, I've been on the force for 22 years. He goes, this was one of the worst attacks I've ever seen. And I'm like, all right, well, here we are. We're in the middle of a war. In the middle of a war. And you had to approach the situation as such. If you didn't take it seriously, you're going to get got. So we added lighting around all the buildings. Cockroaches love darkness. Oh, they hated hanging out at our buildings. That was the fucking point. And it worked. To some degree. Oh, it was way better. I left it way better than I found it. I left that place way better than I found it. Oh, no, you didn't, Brianna. No, it wasn't a Latino lady saying, oh, no, you didn't. This lady, she was like third generation. I think her mom lived in the building. Maybe her daughter did. And that's what you saw. It was like 3 generations of Section 8 housing, of how can I get on the government system of handouts and just stay? And part of the mentality is I don't want my place to get too nice. Otherwise, then I can't afford to rent it. Section 8 has different provisions. Those things are capped and whatever. But like regular renters in the neighborhood didn't want the neighborhood to be nice because then they couldn't afford to live there. So we want this to be shitty was the mentality. Hey, I'll do better if this is shit. I've heard comics talk about that to keep property values down, they just go out and pop a couple caps off every now and then. Get the sirens going. You know, it's a way to keep the rent down. So, yeah, that's where they say low rent people. And I've never been in that mindset. I mean, my little condo, I mean, it was a beater, you know. It was the first place I ever owned. Blue carpet from the 80s, probably. Popcorn ceiling with gold and silver speckle. Crank windows that would crank 2 inches and then hit the security bars. You had to have security bars so you wouldn't get broken into. The building next to me is getting shot up. Other building next to me where the attack happened, they said, well, before you got here during the Biggie and Tupac days, several people were gunned down out here in the street. It's like, what type of crazy mind virus is this? I can't fix generations of Section 8 housing. I can't fix generations of low rent mentality, criminality, violence. Sometimes random, sometimes targeted. Either way, no thank you. That's a good point. Actually, let me check in on some comments. I haven't been doing any of that. Yes, thank you to the good vibes from Sweet Kitty Nimbus. He is what is he doing? Hang on. You good, bro? Okay. He's moving around. He ate a little bit. Now he's like grooming himself, and he's got a little grooming to do, I think, is what's going on. So, all right, he's moving. He's active. That's better than how he was doing earlier. Hello, David Ben from Ontario. Grace from Ohio. Deb from Sacramento. All right. Yes, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, we'll create a new cocktail named the Newsome. Lots of ice. That's I could work with ice cocktail. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to talk about in my comedy set. Ice. Yeah, I do often call Los Angeles Lost Angeles. I don't think it's lost yet. I mean, you know, kind of says convince it. Now, yeah, Democrats do love their criminality. That's for sure. Oh, you watch Anomaly talking about? Yeah, I just saw like the Instagram post where he was kind of laying it out and explaining the difference between Orange County and because I think he's from New Jersey or something. I think he said, and I thought he moved because he moved out of LA a while ago. But I thought he might have went back to Jersey, but he just went an hour south, I guess. So a lot of people either lost their souls or don't have one. Yeah, it's so weird. NPCs for real. Grace, raised differently or something. I can't imagine just throwing trash out of my car or disregarding others. And look, I've had douchey phases of my life where I've done plenty of stuff. I got a ticket for tossing a can out the window. I was riding shotgun. We were going down the road, and I was in high school, and I just finished a bottle and chucked it out. And there's a cop car behind me. I got a ticket for littering. There were times in my earlier life, my late high school, early college days, where maybe I wasn't self-aware enough to be respectful for my surroundings. I'll raise my hand. But, I did grow out of that, and I made it a concerted effort to find things better leave things better than I found them. I dated somebody in Los Angeles. Yeah, I was single briefly out there. But I dated somebody, and something they said stuck with me. She was talking about someone she used to date and whatever, and they did or didn't and whatever. And she said, I like to leave people better than how I found them. And so, yeah, it didn't work out dating this person, but, I think I left his life better than how I found it. He was better off having dated me for a while than being worse off. I like to leave people better than I found them. I like to leave situations better than I found it. So, that's been something of my mentality too. But yeah, I fixed up my place, renovated the kitchen, renovated the bathroom, got rid of the popcorn ceiling, painted everything, new windows, added a dishwasher where there wasn't one. Completely redid the bathroom. I made the place a lot better than I found it. I left it better than it was when I found it. And that's what I've tried to do here in my new spot. And it's just a mentality. It's a mind virus. It's a different way of thinking. But yeah, I saw AJ posting about that, and it ties into everything we're talking about. And it's at the core of this. Gosh darn it, that George Floyd. We need to really be out there and showing them, right? We need to protest. It's an excuse to riot. No. See, Donald Trump enforcing actual immigration laws. See, that's the reason we're rioting. Why would you riot law? Well, they've been here for a while. It's okay. All right. You snuck into the venue and you've been hanging out for a couple hours. You don't have a wristband. You don't belong here. We didn't check your ID on the way in. We don't know who you are and what your intentions are. Get the fuck out. Oh, but they've already been here for 4. You've been here 4 hours. You go now. This would happen to me as a concert promoter. Down in Long Beach, I worked at a place called the Rhythm Lounge, and I would book bands there. And we had friends of the band or the girlfriends or boyfriends would sneak in, and it's like, everybody pays a cover charge. That's just how it goes. We need 10 people per band, and they need to pay because I got to pay the bouncer. I need to pay the door person checking IDs and collecting the money. I need to pay the sound guy. There's an ecosystem of money exchanging hands, and we don't know if they're 21. Like, they have to have a valid documentation proving they're 21. If not, we could lose our liquor license. I'm not risking that for anybody, especially somebody I don't know, somebody I don't know favors to. Well, they've been here forever. Well, they shouldn't have been. They can go walk back in the front door and do it the right way. Tell me what looting the Jordan store in Los Angeles has to do with immigration's customs and enforcement. Tell me what looting the Adidas store has to do with any of that. It doesn't. It's an excuse to act like madmen. It's an excuse to run the purge. Don't be gaslit. Oh, Trump caused this. That's the same type of mentality that blames the girl for dressing too attractively. Well, she was asking to get assaulted. Did you see her dress? What? It's not how this works. That's what the grooming gangs in London, the Islamic grooming gangs that are attacking Londoners. Well, I just couldn't help myself. Some of them say, well, she wasn't covered up like a lampshade. Oh my God, I saw an elbow. I couldn't constrain myself. I had to jump and rape. Oh, you did? Sounds like you're a monster. If you see more than is there a name for this? Like the bridge of the nose or the eyebrow? If you see more than eyebrows and you can't control yourself from abusing a lady, it's not because of what she was wearing. It's because you're an animal. You don't blame the girl for the attack. You blame the attacker. I couldn't control myself. I just had to do it. Oh, I just had to break into the Apple store and destroy. I just had to loot the 7-Eleven. No, you didn't. You're an animal, and you're begging for an excuse to be treated like an animal. And just luckily, we're 5 years after this summer of love, Democrat deep state driven fiasco. And I don't think people are tolerating it the same way. And I think it's time for everybody to be on high alert. That includes all of you. Wherever you're at in your vehicle, you could end up blocked in and in a bad spot. So you better consider what you're driving around with in your glove box. What do you have right there at the ready if you need to? Do you have a plan in place? Because they're trying to do this nationwide. Nationwide riots are being planned. We're going to discuss it. But yeah, like I said, I've had the dreaded elbow, double elbows. I got to rape double. It's just, you don't loot the target for social justice. No, you're an animal. Stop hiding behind it. Don't gaslight me. You're just looking for an excuse to act like the purge. And when you destroy your own communities, you get what you deserve, which is a lot less. So maybe raise your expectations and you'll raise the quality of your life. Then again, if people aren't going to do that, what responsibility do you have to continue to stay in an area that doesn't support your values? Why did Texas and Florida and Tennessee gain all sorts of population, while California, New York, and Illinois lost population? Because blue cities run by blue politicians on the Democrat deep state ticket suck. They hate you. They allow criminality, violence, theft, and abuse. Flee blue cities, flee blue states. I did it. You can too. Scott Adams got canceled for saying, get the fuck out of there. If you're around a bunch of people that don't like you, get the fuck out of there. It's what Adam Carolla said about Israel. He's like, well, why should Israel leave? They're there right now. Why should? And he wrote in his book, and it's really interesting if you look it up or read that section in his book. He's like, that's the equivalent of like you're woken up. You have roommates, and you have a problem with one of your roommates, Israel, Palestine, or something. And you wake up, and your roommate's at the foot of your bed holding a kitchen knife. And you're like, ugh. And you tell the guy, man, you better get out of there. This is bad news. He's like, why should I leave? I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, yeah, but like it's a bad scene. It's like, yeah, but I'm not leaving. I'll forfeit my security deposit. It's like, bro, you're gonna get stabbed. Get out of there. He does a whole thing in his book about going to the Baja, Mexico, and just kind of showing up in another spot. Take your country over there, and you'll have it running and humming in no time, because there's successful people that value education and accomplishments, not destruction, division, and tearing things down. That was his take, of course, but yeah, Scott Adams is like, people have been so brainwashed by the Obama doctrine and the education system, the indoctrination system run by the deep state Democrat Party, and fomented by the lying legacy media to push nonstop Obama doctrine, division, and racism at everybody, to the point where if you're white and you're surrounded by not white people, you know what? A lot of people in that neighborhood have been brainwashed, brain damaged by the liars in the politics of the Democrat Party, liars in the legacy media, and liars in their schools to make you think the world's an awful place and whitey's the problem. So Scott Adams said, if you're around a lot of people that have been manipulated by their politicians, their leaders, their schools, their teachers, their family to hate you, get the fuck out of there. Scott Adams was canceled for that. And now he's battling a life-threatening thing, and he might not be around much longer. So if you don't regularly listen to Scott, maybe check out some shows while you still can. He's looking kind of frail these days. He said he has the same thing that former Vice President Joe Biden says he has. If that's Joe Biden and not a clone or a robot or a stunt double. But demographics and race aside, set that aside. It's just if you're around people that share some of your similar values, go to the Mission District. Is it called the Mission District in San Francisco? The Castro District? I mean, go to Austin, Texas. Hellhole. I loved it when I went there 15 years ago. It sucked last time I went. It was stinky. It smelled like piss and shit. There were trash and drug use all over the place, junkies and bums. No self-respecting person would want that in their neighborhood. I was in Los Angeles. I tried to go out to eat with my dad. We had to step over and step around tents on the sidewalk. Sleeping bags and tents from junkies on the sidewalk to get into a place, grab a bite to eat. And a crazy lady came in, big fat lady yelling and blah, 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 mentally ill, roaming around. Guy running the restaurants yelling at her to get the hell out of there. My dad and I are just going, this ain't it. That person needs help. They need to be off the streets in a medical facility. You detain them, you take them to some place you can assess their mental health, their chemical dependency. They need to be institutionalized. But people just walk around it, pretend it's not happening. Either you're built for it or you're not. You'll either change or they're going to change you. So, I count my blessings daily that I was able to evacuate Los Angeles. And I wonder what's going to happen nationwide if this stuff's going to get bigger. I don't know. Oh, no, you didn't, Brianna. I think I'm going to tell that story today. Permission to improve the neighborhood is so lame. Yeah. I didn't ask you to come over here. We're fine with how things look. We don't need you coming around and making our grass green and planting new flowers in that planter bed. You don't need to paint over that graffiti. This is the way we live, and this is the way we like it. This is the Ghetto Bar. Like the fuck it is. Maybe it used to be, but it ain't no mo. True dat, lady. She started cussing at me, cussing it out. I'm like, I'm willing to talk to you. I'm willing to hear what you have to say. But I'm not willing to absorb any abuse. So you have a great day, lady. Oh, I had many encounters with this gem of a lady. She wasn't the worst, but she would bark every now and then. She wasn't the worst. I had worse. Ugh. Blah. But I gave what I had. Brianen. Brianen. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to do the neck thing. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the. Mm-hmm. How do you do like the neck swivel? I don't know if I can learn that by tonight. This is the Ghetto Bar. Deb saying they don't like motivated people because it shows that they're lazy. I mean, ding, 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 ding. There's some of that. Give, send, ghetto. Our war in the middle of our streets. Yeah, they attacked the cops on more than several occasions because they'd block all the streets off and the stuff that's going. I mean, you're in a tinder box. You're in a do not water your lawn drought. And they're launching professional grade Mexican fireworks, better than you'll see at Dodger Stadium. 300 yards from your dry tinderbox of a roof. So yeah, we had to go 24-hour security patrol. They couldn't even drive. The streets were blocked. It was very riotous, and it was super risky and sketchy. It was fun, but it was really stupid. Couldn't imagine loving the ghetto. Yeah, you hope I moved out of LA. I did move out of LA. Pseudo in 2019, officially in 2021. Alex Alberto G. Alex, were you here yesterday? I forget where you're watching from. Can you remind me where you're watching us from today? I saw Anna Paulina Luna on Instagram. Her name, billionaire Neville Singham, is the main culprit funding the riots. Oh, you saw her name, billionaire Neville Singham. Okay. Let me look him up real quick. Let me just do it as a regular search. Neville riot. I don't know this guy's name. Richard Lighthouse is reporting it. What am I seeing? Neville Singham, a billionaire. Oh, married to Joni Evans, the founder of Code Pink. Oh, God. Both hate America and capitalism. How ironic and duplicitous. I'm looking for a big post on this guy. I'm seeing the name going around. Oh, here's Anna Paulina Luna. Here, let me go to this since you brought it up, because I did want to get to this. So this is our representative, Anna Paulina Luna. Here, let me finish this.
So this crowd is definitely getting a little bit more feisty tonight, Trace. And you mentioned it right off the top. That's exactly what happens out here when the sun starts going down with these LA. I think these might actually be feds based off some of the patches I'm seeing. These.
Yep. Take that damn mask off, son.
Look like DHS guys to me. Yeah, HSI, police HSI. So that's Homeland Security Investigation. So those are feds. Those are not locals. And that's probably why you see them being a lot more aggressive. The feds have been a whole lot more aggressive. Think about what we saw on Saturday. Once we're done with this live shot right here, we're going to go head over that way. You see it.
There you go. All right. Let's go to the next story. They say that a hero could save us. Not gonna stand here and Kyle. This is currently being emitted from LAPD headquarters. Like, where's Kyle Rittenhouse? Will some resident of this community? He didn't live in that community. Don't you know he traveled across state lines? Oh, won't you think of the children? You mean the children molesters? No, not the ones that Kyle had to defend himself from. We mean the theoretical people who moved across the state lines, is what MSNBC told me to get irate about this week. He went across state lines. You mean he drove 20 minutes to work? Yeah, people do that. But it was state lines and state rights or something. I don't know. Yes, Kyle Rittenhouse defended his community. It wasn't his community. Yes, it was. It's where he worked. And they weren't going to let him burn their shit down. They were the rooftop Koreans. And the bad people, the deep state Democrats, ran Kyle Rittenhouse through the mud, trying to make it so you would be scared if you ever had to defend yourself and your family and your community. Don't be scared. Don't be a cowboy. Don't be a hero. Don't be stupid. Don't be afraid. That's what they prey on. But that's kind of funny. Currently emitting from LAPD headquarters. The Batman. The Batman logo in the sky is not Batman. It's that man, Kyle Rittenhouse. Okay, I do have the thing you quoted. So let me go to Alex Alberto. Let me switch. What page was that? It's like, okay, here is looting Adidas. Well, here, let me show you looting Adidas. Luke Rudowski Says, how does looting stop ICE raids?
Loot the security guard.
Just watching. Just checking his phone. What a pathetic. And by the way, why don't these stores have a button? You know what? I think we could all become
Loot the
rich.
security guard.
I'm the idea guy. So let me ask you this. I'm the idea guy. Who could help us implement a system at every one of these stores that has a red button? You press it and it locks. It locks you in. And then it sprays pink. It sprays orange.
Loot the security
It
guard.
sprays yellow. It gets all of the identifying stuff all over you. Now you're tarred and feathered. You're locked in. You press the button and the paddy wagon shows up to get all your asses arrested and charged. And convicted. And pay some fucking restitution. Where's the button to lock your door? You're getting
Loot the
bombed right
security
now.
guard.
Press the button, the door's closed, snap shut. Only the police can undo it. This guy walks out, locks the doors, locks them all in. And you have something over the loudspeaker in several different languages. Congratulations, you're all on videotape. You've all been marked with yellow spray. The police are on their way. You want to continue causing damage and property damage trying to break out. Additional charges will be filed. Anyway, that's where my head goes. It's a solutions. I'm a solutions-based character. All right, here's Representative Anna Paulina Luna. And, you know, if someone's got to tell you bad news, I wouldn't mind it being her.
Just found a really great deep dive here from the Data Republican on X. So who is behind all these crazy riots in LA? And with
Is it Data Republican or Data Republican? I call it Data.
From the Data Republican on X. So who is behind all these crazy riots in LA and that will be across the nation? Just like, remember, in the Summer of Love with BLM, remember who's organizing all that stuff? With this specifically is being funded by an individual by the name of Neville Singham, who actually made his money by pushing communist Chinese propaganda, became a billionaire doing it. He's now funding, and the guy behind all of these protests was also behind and tied to the protests at Columbia University, pushing all of that BS, if you don't remember. And then also, too, if you actually look at the social organization that's putting out these flyers, it's the Party for Socialism and Liberation, which is, and I kid you not, the actual Communist Party. So they're using Hispanics, they're using illegal immigrants, they're trying to hype people up thinking that they care, but they don't care. They would stop illegal immigration. Obama deported people. Why all of a sudden now? It's political.
So there you go. Oh, now they're linking the DC Jewish Museum terrorist Elias Rodriguez to socialist multimillionaire Neville Singham. All right. Interesting. Let me share you this. Riot funded by Neville Roy Singham. Arrest him and prosecute him, says Dennis Dugan. But let's watch this. Did you see this? Oh, this guy lives in Shanghai, China. Laura Loomer says, Neville Singham, married to Jody Evans, co-founder of Code Pink. Members of Congress welcome Code Pink activists into the U.S. Capitol. They're literally in Congress every day. The co-founder's husband, Neville Singham, works with propagandists for the Chinese Communist Party. He and his wife are communists. Oh, and don't forget that China had deep connections to the powers that be in 2020 that helped foment the riots across the nation, that distracted from China releasing a goddamn bioweapon on planet fucking Earth. Sorry, in case you weren't connecting the dots there with. They said, sir, it came from China. Grace says there's a reason we have laws to keep order. Some in society like chaos or can't handle the person in office. So this is their way of acting out. Sadly, it has to affect everyone else. Kenneth says, coming soon to LA, looters. When I took the train and got off at that station right by Staples Center, now the Crypto.com arena, where the Lakers play, which I did many times. There was a Hooters right there. And we would often stop there and grab a beverage, a bite to eat, either leaving or going from the convention center or Staples Center. And yeah, not Looters, but Hooters. And then I think it shut down. Deb bring up, oh no, not the dreaded elbow. That's what they'd say on like WWE. He's coming down with the dreaded elbow off the top rope. David saying, just criminal activities. It is. Summer of love. How about call it the summer of shame? Criminals love crime like a fat kid loves cake. Yes, I did get Nimbus off of those mean streets. I adopted Nimbus. Does he know I'm talking about him? Yes. Flee blue cities, flee blue states, flee blue-eyed women? Well, I'd say flee blue-skinned women. No Euron Vandersloot jokes, please. That would just be in bad taste. AJ says he loves the OC. Yeah, I mean, in comparison to LA, there's no doubt about it. Obama embalmer? Well, some say that's what they did to Joe Biden. Won't somebody think of the voters? Yeah, people do go crazier at nighttime and in the summertime. School's out, nothing to do. Yes, Deb saying that's a perfect plan, but the guard needs a safe room. The guard would walk out of the building and then close the door and lock it. Yeah. Then you go, then you look inside the fishbowl. Data, you say. Not data, you say data. Tomato, potato. Anyway, back to the Laura Loomer report here. Sorry, he and his wife being communists and the CCP fomenting the riots in 2020 to distract from them intentionally unleashing the COVID bioweapon on humanity. Yeah, I think that needs a little bit of attention, don't you? By the way, under duress, I'll tell you that go find countervailing views on health and elections at cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control, because they'll tell you the George Floyd riots were totally organic. They weren't fomented by the deep state and the CCP, all in an effort to really get rid of Orange Man bad, right? Oh, no, and they'll say that it wasn't a lab release, an intentional lab release. They'll say it was bat soup, a bat kissed a pangolin, or something ridiculous. Go find their countervailing views. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So yeah, perhaps Code Pink are serving as spies and operatives for the CCP. Maybe it's time to ban them from the Capitol. Yeah. All right, good heads up there. That is definitely a story that I wanted to discuss. Thank you. All right, let's go back here. Kyle Rittenhouse is the bat signal. Either defend or surrender because the mob has mobilized. That was our message to you. Either defend or surrender. Do you see this one? What are we looking at here? Real life is scarier than a horror movie. What's happening? People are banging on this, reaching their arms out. The truck was stopped a mile later, searched and found 30 children, 10 boys, 20 girls, aged 14 to 19. The driver was arrested and currently in custody. Parents, what safety measures are you taking for your children? When a seemingly harmless semi-truck turns into a chilling discovery. So anyway, just be aware out there, folks. Not really connected to my riot story, but like, what the there's demons out there. So, hey, real quick, what do you think about these posts with AI? Here's the point of view that you're in the Trojan horse. Check this out. Actually, this one does directly relate to 30 million people being intentionally flooded into America as sleeper cells, as Trojan horses, ready to activate. So, are you ready?
The Greeks dipped and left us this big-ass horse. Bro said, gift from the gods. Bet. Let's park it inside.
Put it by the fountain.
We've been in here 6 hours. They got no fucking clue. Dude, someone just ripped a fart. I swear to Zeus, if they don't fall asleep soon, I'm jumping out and winging it.
All right, boys, it's 3 a.m. They are so fucked.
Bro, chill. I'm still tying my sandals.
Bro, am I tripping or, like, that shift is breathing, right? Nah, I'm off shift. Not my problem.
Snuck into a whole city in a horse. Burned it down by breakfast.
Snuck into America by Obama or Biden. Burned it down by breakfast. How many military-aged men have been pre-positioned across America right now? Just waiting for the signal. Does it happen this week? Was it this weekend? They're going to have their nationwide bullshit. Are you ready? Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan, a backup plan for that plan? Well, this might be a good time to do so.
Honestly, we just different
Type shit. About to be rich as hell.
So the Greeks dipped and left us.
Eerily reminiscent of how Obama, Biden flooded America with 30 million illegal alien invaders pre-positioned as sleeper cells across America. Sleeper cells across America. Ever notice the shockingly high number of military-aged men invading America? Are you ready? I'm off shift, not my problem. But this AI is getting crazy. Like, this doesn't look all that bad. Here's another one.
Second day of fighting 100 men.
A gorilla vlogging his second day of fighting 100 men.
I'm still sore from yesterday's brawl, but I've come up with a new strategy. I'm thinking if I offer a bunch of these beers as a peace offering, they'll leave me alone. That was a horrible fucking idea. And the beer just made them more aggressive. What the fuck is wrong with these things? I think that's the last of them. I don't know. Some of them didn't want to catch these hands.
I know we're not supposed to eat humans, but I've got to admit, they taste pretty good.
I can hear something outside of camp. Chat, I might be cooked here.
How wild is this?
Second day of fighting 100 men.
You know, it's so interesting. They waited to release the Epstein files until AI got this good where there could be plausible deniability, isn't it? Oh, totally unconnected, unrelated, right? Oh, Kenneth, X-rated AI point of view next? Bro. Anytime anything is invented, it instantly goes to porn. That's what happened with Betamax and VCRs. What was the opposite of Betamax? Was it just called VCR? Anyway. Yeah, it always goes to porn. Computers, internet, AI, virtual reality goggles, it all goes to porn. Always, yes. But yeah, these AI created videos are getting really, like, shockingly good. No wonder Elon was pretty creeped out. Here's a reminder. You don't get to burn cities, beat cops, or loot stores and call it a protest. That's not free speech. That's lawlessness. The second a protest turns violent, bring in the riot police and unleash the National Guard. No more kid gloves, no more appeasement. It's time to crush the chaos, law and order, or no country at all. Was that too strong of a take? Do you agree or disagree? Yeah, David says it is VHS. So it was just either VHS or beta And so Beta kind of lost, and then VHS won the day. Yeah. You want to hear about a real riot? Well, here's fake news CNN giving you some.
It's pretty bad. That's a different question, but I just want to just state for the record that what did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot.
A real riot. No, it had the underline under real. A real riot. What?
That went all across the city of Los Angeles after a verdict in the Rodney King case.
What point is she making? She like stuttered and stammered 3 different times to try to get that take out.
This is a situation where the LA County Police,
Dana,
it's not good, but they're saying that they have it under control, and
the police are saying they have it under control while all those Waymos and cop cars are burning, attempted murders on the cops. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's under control. No, it's not.
And the president is sending national troops,
Dana,
federal troops, in a way that
we can look at this and we can obviously
time.
see that it is not under control. It's not under control. You and I both can see that. It's not under control. And a riot is a riot. They're throwing all types of objects at law enforcement, and the president is absolutely right. It's pretty bad.
That's a different question, but I just want to just state for the record that what did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot.
Dude, these people are trash.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest.
Peaceful protests. Oh, you don't hate them enough.
The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people
burning cop cars and attempted murder on cops, chucking 20-pound cinder block chunks off freeway overpasses. Yes, that kills people.
Peacefully protesting. We are having an administration that's targeting.
Here's a peaceful protest. Pretty nice, I mean, could you think of a better advertisement for the Republican Party? Your Democrats want to overthrow your cities for foreign governments. They are literal enemies, traitors. Did they use like a fake name and then rented them and then just burned them? Like, what was the strat? Like, how did they get the cars there to destroy them? Oh my God. Eran 3, faltan. And you're arrested. Who's that lady? Oh, I heard they arrested this guy. I think I have this coming up. This fucking asshole. If that busts out a windshield, the guy loses control of the vehicle doing 45 miles an hour. You see all the people on the sidewalk, loses control and mows down 30 people. That dude is, screw these people. So I think this would be a good time to make sure you have a good gas mask for yourself and your family. I know, it's a little aggressive, but you never know. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Where is this? Home Depot. Huh. Oh, the illegals are setting up at Home Depot. No way. Home Depot crowd. This looks like they're in Germany or France. Another nation that was overrun with illegal alien invasion. Or Ireland, or Sweden, Denmark, or Belarus, or Italy. Spain. Yeah, you're going to see so much of this because everybody has their gear already. The fireworks would start about a month and a half early of Independence Day and go about 3 weeks after Independence Day. They run down to Tijuana, pick up a whole bunch of stuff, let it loose. So yeah, you're going to see a bunch of fireworks. Chaos, man.
Hey! Did you see Club? Whatever.
I had to kind of do a double check. I'm like, dude, this looks like my old neighborhood. I mean, it kind of sort of does. A lot of the buildings were built in the late 40s, the post-World War II boomer generation, but razor wire. Yeah, they got that under control. And look at that, waving up either the Mexican flag or the Palestinian flag. The Democrats are giving you the Republican key to winning the midterms. They've shown you who they are. They want to destroy this country. And we're not letting it happen. Here's your Democrat Party, people. There's your blue city, blue state.
Drive that vehicle, and that could be as simple as a rock just hit just right and blew the airbag. So it's a disturbing scene, to be sure. And look at that guy. It's just up there with a big rock poised, and
hit one of the cops directly in the head.
He just rains it down upon the freeway, trying clearly to get an officer.
Which is again why they couldn't move those vehicles necessarily with a huge crowd like that. And nobody from
drive that vehicle, and that could be as simple as a rock just hit.
Easy, Kenneth. That one got close. This is kind of funny. I don't know if I can play it. Is there volume? There's supposed to be volume. Oh. Life is bigger than you, and you are not me. It's just like Trump being very braggadocious with that song. Oh, life is bigger. It's bigger than you, and you are not me. I found that to be hilarious. It's very Trumpian stuff to say. What's up, buddy? You feeling any better? Any better, buddies? Oh, hey, if you want a lesson from Florida, that's a good place to start.
There's no misunderstanding today. This is a peaceful protest. This is a riot. We can tell the difference. The governor can tell the difference. Our law enforcement officers can tell the difference. In the event you didn't get that, let me show you something. This is a peaceful protest. This is looting. If you loot, The next thing you can try to steal is something off of your food tray at the county jail, because you're going to jail. That's a guarantee. And we're going to enjoy taking you down there. So that there's no misunderstanding today.
Look, you see the difference? Crystal clear difference between blue states, I'm going to say backward blue states, there we go, between backward blue states and reasonable red states. Flee blue cities, flee blue states. Hi, Nimbus. How we doing? You had a rough morning, buddy. Rough morning. Glad to see some movement out of Nimbus, man. He was just did not have a great day. Don't walk all over everything. You can just hang out here. Can you just hang out here? Is that possible? No. Okay. You go over there then. Okay. All right then. So yeah, big difference between backward blue states and reasonable red states. This is where the cop gets hit directly in the head. Watch on the bottom of the screen, bottom left. Here we go.
Down! Get down! Oh! Oh, he got fucked. Oh! Fuck yeah! Oh my God, he got fucked. Oh, he's fucked. Gotcha, bitch!
Right in the head.
Get down! Get down! Oh! Gotcha, oh, he got fucked. Oh!
Yeah, that's an attempted murder. So you have to call in the guard, of course. Hey, here's a reminder. In June, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, as we all know. Play piano. They're saying 47,000 men will off themselves globally by the time this month is over. So forgive me if I'm not focused on your flag, your rainbow flag. June, half of society are men. If we're focused on the percentage of the global population that could be impacted by focusing on an issue for a month, maybe, the one that has half the global population of men. That's a shocking number. I don't know if it's accurate, but that's shocking.
That Christina Gonzalez was saying that this is not an organized rally like we saw earlier in the day where you have
organized Mexican flag,
different organizations that are
got the Middle Eastern headscarf
backing some of these protests. This is more, she said.
And look what's happening. A black F-150 pulls up and starts handing out what appear to be professional grade UVEX bionic shield ballistic face masks to protesters.
Organic, and maybe that's what you're seeing there. I'm hoping that is.
What are those boxes?
Are those masks of some sort? Are those gas masks?
That doesn't look like food.
Yeah, those are.
Looks like masks.
Yeah, no, those are masks. Yeah, so people are prepping for some sort of altercation with police as we speak.
Yeah, because, this is a different scene than what.
This intersection, like I.
Yeah. I mean, we saw
at this intersection, like I said, there's no local police. We've been seeing the burnouts.
A very different scene. And are those hats that you wear that are more like helmets? I mean, this is a worrying sight. I mean, Christina's site, which is like very close by, she was describing a festive atmosphere, and it looked like a lot of folks, including a lot of older folks, who were there for the right reasons.
This guy's tagging the sidewalk, right?
This is troublemakers. You don't put on probably don't put on a mask unless you have a plan of not wanting somebody to see your face. And so this is concerning.
Well, the woman who was handing out the masks, you see her quite clearly there in that beige T-shirt. She's not covering her face at all. So I would love to hear from her as to what this is about. Alex, you do bring up the fact that this could be very concerning. It is a Monday and not the weekend, so you're wondering how many people are wanting to stick around through the evening.
Get his license plate.
Matthew, do you get a feel at all for this crowd? You've been out there for the past couple days.
Yeah, it reminds me of when we got to Paramount on Saturday. Here we have another person doing a little bit of a burnout there in the intersection, where you
I think that person had an Israeli flag.
can feel an energy in the air. It's hard to describe, where it just feels like something's going to happen and you're waiting for it to happen.
Bionic Shield UV.
And you can look around, you see the National Guard in front of the federal building, but as far as this intersection where we're seeing all this take place, there's no local police to be seen.
Yeah.
And we have people handing out masks and gas masks, and we just saw people graffitiing the sidewalk right in front of this truck, and we've seen people doing burnouts in the street. There's no local law enforcement around.
Let us clarify, because we've been showing a wide shot and from a different angle, a whole lot of officers on the other side of the federal building, almost behind you, and perhaps.
By the way, looking it up here on Grok, the UVEX bionic face shields. Somewhere between 20 and 75 bucks a piece, usually 20 to 64 with bulk discounts. And what do they protect against? Face and eye protection in various work, flying debris and particles, impact hazards, objects that could strike the face or the eye, chemical splashes, airborne contaminants, minor heat exposure, not for respiratory protection, not for high heat or arc flash, side and lower exposure. I bring this up because I want to share you this. Do you know my buddy Ford Fisher? He's with News to Share. So this is what happened to him yesterday. Why can't I click it to? All right. So that's Ford. Can you see? Yeah, on the top right there, he says, and by the way, how do I do it? Like, maybe like that. Yeah. When I went to January 6th, the mostly peaceful protest, I went with Blake Wally, and we met up with Ford. And Ford had come and stayed with me in Louisville in the past for the Breonna Taylor riots. I believe that was before January 6th. Sorry, actually, when was Breonna Taylor? Let me look that up real quick. When were the Breonna Taylor riots? Breonna Taylor riots were January 6th, 2021. Protests were May of 2020. It was essentially, yeah, after George Floyd. So May and June 2020. And September. So yeah, Ford had stayed at my place in Louisville to go in and out of the Breonna Taylor protests and riots. And then we went to to DC for the mostly peaceful protest on January 6th. Yeah, he was in the scrum. He was right at the Capitol. Like, he was right in the thick of it. And then we've been at the conventions. He wasn't in Milwaukee, or no, he was in Milwaukee. That's right, but we didn't connect very much in Milwaukee. He was in and out, and he was in a different spot. But yeah, we were there in Chicago, and then Libertarian Convention in DC. But anyway, just want to point this out. Ford says, if LAPD could not shoot me in the stomach with rubber bullets while I film them, that would be great. He says, correction, apparently this was likely a 40 millimeter foam round rather than a rubber coated bullet. Either way, video below. Oh, so there. Oh, okay. So there it is. It's up in like the rib cage area. And so he gets shot. Here's a wide gulf formed between protesters and the police. About 30 seconds into this clip as he films, he gets hit. I haven't watched this yet.
Fuck you!
Oh, like somebody got hit right there. Someone, oh! You hear it, man. You just make that walk.
Fucking coward! Back up, back up, back up. Getting shot, watch out. Got shot in the stomach.
You know, I mean, bless him. Someone needs to be there covering this stuff. But I tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, get out of this industry. Find something else to do. You're talented at things. You don't need to be. They always warn you, don't do stupid things with stupid people in stupid places. It's like the rule is stupid. You roll the dice too much and it's eventually going to bite you in the ass or hit you in the gut. But yeah, I mean, he's made a career with Mr. Stairs going into these war zones. They're definitely making contact. Does this look under control to you guys? It doesn't really seem under control, does it? I don't think so.
The visual is obstructed from your point of view, but I can tell you there are many, many, many LAPD cars and officers there that have staged. They are blocking that freeway overpass so protesters can't get on that overpass like they did yesterday. Interesting to see that. Christine.
Anyway, that video resets right there where they're being handed the face shields. Protester shot in the head with a rubber bullet by LA riot police, or the foam bullet, whatever it is exactly. Hello, Trump whoppers. What does that mean? Does that mean you think Trump tells whoppers of lies? I don't feel tardy. Is this your first time jumping into our show, Trump whoppers? Yeah, most of the riders just happen to have all the right equipment. It's a cottage industry. It's riot season. It's a professional agitator class. That's what it is. And it's been going on for a long time. Stop the funding, start prosecuting. You'll see it die. You'll see it scale back. But it's been ramped up under Obama, under Biden, for sure, under Trump. It's been going on for 20 years, 25 years.
You can't call an ambulance? There's no ambulance to be had. Right there. You guys created? Right there. What happened? There's an emergency response. You shot her in the head. You can't. and they want to leave her here. Don't you have to take her? No, you should.
You should be a good citizen and take her.
Aren't you here to protect it, sir? Aren't you here to protect it, sir? Aren't you here to protect it, sir? You're gonna take care of it. What the fuck is wrong with you? The longer you stay here, the longer it's gonna take for ambulance to get here. No, that's such a lie. Get a damn ambulance here. You shot her in the head with a rubber bullet. Back off. No, we're trying to get you to just make a fucking phone call.
Use your fucking.
There you go. Be a good citizen and get her out of there.
Okay? What are you looking for? Don't make her fall asleep.
Well, you know, be stupid places with stupid people doing stupid things. That is sort of the gist of it, right? It is. All right. Let's scroll through X and see what else is going on, shall we? Riots are us. Exactly. Okay. Where is my... Oh, that's showing up good. Do I have the... Oh, that's why it's showing up, because my chat overlay is gone. Let me put the chat overlay back on. And we'll scroll through X. Yep, trucks of bionic face shields showing up to distribute to the rioters. They're handing them out like candy. They're connecting Neville to the DC Jewish Museum terror suspect Elias Rodriguez. Maybe, perhaps, potentially. Oh, Ford. Oh, Ford should get a tattoo of that right there. This would make a decent tattoo. Yeah? Yes. Get a tattoo of it. No. I just started. I only laugh because Ford's okay, but like, wouldn't that be a good tattoo to get? I think it would be. LOLA Quantum AI Official. That guy sounded like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It might have been. It might have been that person. Hello, Lola. This might be your first time watching. I don't recall you posting before. Thanks for joining us today. Deb says, I bet all those rioters don't work. Well, you know, if you're on a Soros payroll. Now, LA police last night exchanging non-lethal rounds and tear gas with anti-ICE protesters who shot fireworks in the direction. Several protesters successfully neutralized tear gas canisters in the traffic cone. Oh, what's going on there? Or simply painted them back at the office. Now, here's the accusation that Walmart is
just passed out all of the...
Now, hold on. I don't know about
this.
That
is wild. A mysterious black truck just passed out all of these expensive bionic face shields to...
They're not that expensive. 20 to 60 bucks. You know, if these are a few $100, then it's like, all right, yeah, now we're into like real stuff. But like 20 to 60 bucks is actually different than a few hundred a piece.
Protesters in LA, and the news caught it on camera. I zoomed in and found out this is the UVEX Bionic Shield. These are not cheap. They're around $45 to $65, and you can't just get them in bulk. But one place that sells them is Walmart. And why is that important? Because there's a new protest being promoted called No Kings on June 14th. And even celebrities like Chrissy Teigen are posting it. And it's in magazines and newspapers. And guess who's behind this message? Christy Walton. That's right, one of the billionaire heiresses, a part of the Walmart family. Now, I don't know why they would be behind that protest against President Trump, but remember, just less than 3 weeks ago, President Trump tweeted about the whole tariff situation, saying Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars of last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. So, is it possible that maybe the...
There it is. So that's June 14. What are we on now? June 10. So June 14, no kings to mobilize. Yeah.
Walmart family didn't like that, and now they're finding ways to...
It's weird because it was Obama, Biden acting like kings.
Make their voices heard? Or is this just a big coincidence? As always, let me know what you think.
All right. So, something to consider. Sean Ryan putting a post out here, something to consider. It's an 11-minute interview, so check it out. It's on our X feed at American_media_. And they're talking about water and clouds. 80% of precipitation happens because water in clouds freezes onto natural dust or bacteria, forming heavy snowflakes that fall. Rainmaker and cloud seeding mimics this. If you put material in the cloud with a crystal structure like ice, the water freezes onto it, grows, and falls. We use radar to find liquid water in the clouds, then launch drones that disperse aerosol particles. The same radar that shows the water freezing and growing into bigger drops. For every pound we put up, we get over 40 million pounds of water down. The agent we use is silver iodide. Its crystal structure is almost identical to ice, and we use about 50 grams per 100,000 acres. By the way, for countervailing views on health and cloud seeding and elections, go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control. Should I get a tattoo? Yes, do that too. How do you do? Yabba dabba do. All right. Brian Cates is saying, congratulations. We've all made it to the third act of this movie. A lot of you are not going to need me anymore, and that's okay. I can drop the Q stuff and just go back to being a normal journalist. Really looking forward to that. All right. Well, third act is here, they say. Number one, I'm not buying into that. Number two, wouldn't it be cool if that was the case? And hey, let's see. But three, let's go. We're in the third act. Let's get on with it now. Let's fix as much as we can. Kyle Becker reporting this. Al-Qaeda leader al-Awlaki called for Muslims living in the United States to rise up and wage jihad against President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and even Elon Musk. The Taliban supports anti-ICE protesters. Oh, wow. Who have been spotted waving Palestinian flags and wearing keffiyehs. The radical left, criminal aliens, and Islamic terrorists are all uniting to lead a violent rebellion against the United States. That's called the Obama Doctrine. Are you ready? Are you ready? I mean, really? Are you physically fit? Are you mentally fit? Are you financially fit? Do you have supplies? Have you trained? Do you have community? Do you know what to do if the power's out? How to filter your water? Do you know how to grow some food? Do you have long-term storable food? What do you do if, like, play out some scenarios? Do you have a bug out location? Do you have a bug out bag? What type? Have you thought this through? If you need to mobilize locally to defend your community from an attack, your family, yourself, your person from an attack, are you ready? Get a Nimbus tattoo? I am proudly tattoo free. But yeah, Nimbus is cool. You all could get a Nimbus tattoo if you like, for real. Paul Graham says, wokeness will seem such a joke in retrospect that many people won't believe it was ever a serious problem. Even many of the participants will forget. But it really was a big problem. Elon says that's on target. And we said it's been a really big problem for more than 30 years. In fact, early wokeness is what got the new American media into the fight or into the media game in the first place. We got sick of seeing defensive Democrat debauchery while common sense policy took a back burner. It's all unmasked now, thankfully. This guy, Benny, says, and we will hunt down every J6 and ICE agent again. Put that out 3 days ago. Meet Benjamin France, a.k.a. Benny. He made a comment threatening to hunt down every J6 and ICE agent 3 days ago on X. Why should we care that Benny is threatening federal agents? Because Benny is an active duty Navy JAG officer. What? Check out the thread. Democrats and their corporate media masters destroyed the Proud Boys and fought so hard against J6, so there would be no civilian resistance to their rioting criminals like the LA riots. You know, do you defend your communities or do you get overrun? Are you ready to mobilize? Are you ready to stand up? Or are you going to take a knee? The deep state's been pushing us to take a knee for a long time, whether it's Kaepernick, Obama, Biden. They want you to take a knee. Are you going to take a knee? Or are you going to stand up? Enrique Tarrio has filed a lawsuit against Biden's Department of Justice claiming political persecution. Check out this video on Lindell TV. Well, we saw this Cara Castronova outside the D.C. Gulag. Was she NBC? Oh, she was a trainer. Didn't talk to her, but she was working right next to me there. Gavin Newsom, governor of California, says, we're suing Donald Trump. This is a manufactured crisis. He's creating fear and terror to take over a state militia and violate the U.S. Constitution. The illegal order he signed could allow him to send the military into any state he wishes. Every governor, blah, 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 blah. Antonio Brown jumps into the chat off the top rope with his elbow. Once again, we're back to the elbows. He just chimes in with, I had sex with your wife, Gavin. What? What is going on? Oh, Kenneth's saying the woke joke goes back to the 60s. I guess. All right, I guess it's been going on for a really damn long time. Hey, look at this. Breaking the roads. This looks like Planet of the Apes, just banging a rock with a bunch of other rocks to throw them. Crazy. They're talking to President Trump about Gavin Newsom. President Trump.
A crime has he committed?
What crime has Gavin Newsom committed? Because he was asked, should Tom Homan, President Trump was asked, should Tom Homan arrest Gavin Newsom? He wasn't asked, do you want to arrest Gavin Newsom? Will you be arresting Gavin Newsom? He was asked, should Tom Homan, running ICE, arrest Gavin Newsom? Hello, Utrid PR. Thanks for jumping in here for the first time. To our new people, Utrid PR, and to Lola, and to Trump Whoppers. We've got a lot of new faces coming in today. In the chat, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Give us your name or your initials and let us know where you're watching from. We got people in Ohio, Sacramento, Florida, Ontario, Canada. And it's always curious. I love to find out my newcomers, where you're reaching out to, where you're watching us from. Take out all radical Democrat globalist tyrants. That's a great question. Do you agree or disagree that we should take out all radical Democrat globalist tyrants? I agree. Thank you for the comment. Gavin's involved? He knew some. All right, so President Trump has asked, what crime has Gavin Newsom committed? This is so funny.
What crime has Gavin Newsom committed? A crime has he committed? I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job. What he's done to that state is like what Biden did to this country. And that's pretty bad. It's the wrong philosophy. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, many of them prisoners. They're taking up your health care. They're taking up your space in schools. They're taking up your hospital.
They've taken your cats.
And
they've taken your dogs.
In many cases, they're criminals.
Yeah. His biggest crime was running for governor. Oh, boy. Insurrection Barbie says this is it. Oh, let's take a look. Here's a Republican commercial for the midterms. Are these all Mexican flags? It's hard to tell because Palestinian flags are roughly the same colors. And if you were out at the Democrat convention in Chicago last year, like we were, you would have watched that. Yeah, it was all Palestinian flags and keffiyehs. They're all teaming up. The Islamists, the Mexicans, any illegal alien invaders are teaming up with the Palestine thing, with the Democrat Party. Democrats have a 19% approval rating. 19% of the people think that they're fit to govern. They have no numbers because nobody in their right mind would want to hand them the keys to the kingdom. We wrestled the keys away and said, how dare you? How dare you? Put a Greta Thunberg. She doesn't say Greta Thunberg. She's like, Greta Thunberg. You're like, what? That is not Greta Thunberg. Anyway. So interesting. The color revolution. These are Mexican flags. This is your advertisement for the Republicans in the midterm. What do you want in America? This is just an advertisement. F Trump. Yeah, you should have that like blurred out. These are the Waymos. How did the Waymos get here? Very curious. Okay, you want this to go away? Then make the U.S. Census based on citizens and not body count. This is kind of what I was referencing earlier. Do you agree or disagree with this?
Guys, the news is totally missing the point on these LA raids or blue city immigration raids. They think, oh, they're going after these innocent people and day laborers waiting outside of Home Depot. I'm listening to the news right now. I'm hearing it all. You guys are all missing the point. This is about the census. This is about how many representatives blue states get in the House of Representatives. That is not based on U.S. citizen numbers. It is based on a total body count. So if you want a Republican president to never be elected ever again, and we're essentially in a one-party system, then you're pro-illegal immigration, whether they're peaceful or not, because it will provide more representation in our government based on a body count census. So just to be clear, this is not about, oh, this was a gangbanger or this was your housekeeper. It's not about that. You guys, take a step back. Look at the bigger picture. Remove emotion. This is about the future of democracy. This is about representation for U.S. citizens, because what these sanctuary cities and these sanctuary states are doing is they're inflating their body count numbers by giving illegal immigrants incentives, whether it's free housing, free healthcare, free food, cell phones. They're doing this to attract bodies to their states so it gives them more representation in government. Wake up. So just to be clear, this is not about, oh, this was a gangbanger.
Right. Let me pause that. Yeah, that's this is the way that you stop Democrats prioritizing illegal alien invaders over citizens. Funny comment here. This Dan Steely Dan here says there are no riots. That's great. You know what that reminds me of? Where's it at? Come on, tell me I can get this fast. Here we go. Now I can share this. This is Steely Dan. Hey, Steely Dan, are there riots? Let me look at this. Let me look at what's going on. Are there riots, you say? I don't know. Not the spoon that's in my hand. There is no spoon. There is no riots. There are no riots. These are not the riots that you're looking for.
It's not the spoon that bends.
It's not the spoon that bends, it's Steely Dan that bends. There are no riots, didn't you know? Don't believe your lying eyes. Those Waymo cars were designed to burn. That's what they're there for. Thanks for joining us, Steely Dan. You so funny. Tellurica, was it? Tealoro says America is like one big fat blockbuster movie. I love the way Trump is handling it from a foreign perspective. I'm asking, can you elaborate a little bit? Let me continue here. Robbie Starbucks says we should be using water cannons with dye in the water to identify all of the rioters and looters. Yes, that's where I got my idea from. Your panic room store. You lock the doors with the bad guys inside of it and you spray them with pink stuff. That's the way to do it. It has the added bonus of also being funny when done to bad people who totally deserve it. So yeah, I mean, stores should have this, and then you paint the people. Cat Turd says there was a landslide victory in November for mass deportations. Don't forget. Massive landslide. Massive. And we said, now that voter rolls have been cleaned up, how many more states would he have won? 42, 45, 46? This is interesting. A federal judge has issued an arrest warrant for the person running the LA Scanner X account because they were doxing ICE agents. And now there's LA Scanner 2 as a new account. So keep your eyes peeled on that, doxing ICE agents and the prosecutions thereof. Hey, here's a reminder. Bert Kreischer says he's traveled far and wide, but Ohio is the best state in the union. By the way, I would agree. But I'm asking Tel Loro if you can elaborate on the blockbuster thing. Please, I think that's an interesting take. President Trump explaining if you like America and if you don't like America.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
That's pretty good. I did want to tell you about this. I'll tell you about it in a second here. Yeah, there are no riots. There is no spoon. These are not the droids you're looking for. These are not the riots that we've paid for. Okay. A couple burning cars is not a riot. Yeah, it was more than a couple burning cars, pal. You're not minimizing this. 100% more burning cars than the January 6th mostly peaceful protest. 100% more burning cars. You can take that to the bank. That is math right there. Science. What is this? Yeah, let me put our TNAM donation links up instead of the CISA.gov/rumor control. What is this? Chump suckers are delusional cultists. Damn, Steely Dem. Yeah, we should call him Steely Dem instead of Dan. Steely Democrat. Steely Dem. Yeah, I got memes for days. That's what we do here, man. It is what we do here. Thanks for joining. I love it. Here, let me just say what I love about today so much. We have so many new people just jumping into the chat. Thank you for joining. Hit subscribe, hit the like button. Let me put that's our tip jar at the bottom. Cash App, PayPal, all those things. You can pause it and go back if you're interested in signing up on our Patreon or sending something Venmo or Cash App at BrianEngelman. But here's the link to all the places the New American Media is. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odysee, Twitch, Kick, DLive, and YouTube. We have like 1,900 videos over the past 14 years. We've been to Bundy Ranch, Occupy LA, January 6th, 2 Republican conventions, a Democrat convention, and a Libertarian convention, and a million places in between. We cover music and sports and comedy and current events and politics and all sorts of things. Please link up with the New American Media in all of the places. Rain Squad jumping in off the top rope with the elbow, the dreaded elbow. That's a callback to the earlier joke about that lady showed some elbow. I couldn't control myself. I had to attack her, says the animal. He's got memes, and Dan, you got no brains. Wah, wah, wah. So Steely Dem here says, when you're taking 20-pound cinder blocks and chucking them into the heads of police officers over a freeway overpass, we who want to stop the attacks want a Kent State snuff film. Where did you go to your school of gaslighting, Steely Dem? Where did you get your degree in gaslighting? Because we, 80% of the country, because your deep state Democrats have about a 19% trust and approval rating. 19%. So on these 80-20 issues, 80% of America, which is what I am going to align with on this issue, you are in the wrong side of it, which I'm guessing you might align with every issue incorrectly. Prove me wrong. We do not want to see 20-pound cinder blocks thrown off of a freeway overpass into the head of police officers. We don't want to light cars on fire because that's toxic, bad for the environment, and we're not dirtbag criminals. You, on the other hand, tell us that's not happening. These are not the riots that you're looking for. There is no spoon. These are not the drones you're looking for. Droids you're looking for. Buddy, what's up? Come on. Steely Dem says that if we want law and order and peace, what that actually means is checks notes. Calling for peace is wanting a Kent State snuff film. Real man of genius. Steely Dem jumped into a podcast to try to equate peace with a Kent State snuff film. Real man of genius. This shout out goes to you, Steely Dem. If it weren't for you and your gaslighting Democrat deep state ways, the rest of us would have a better commute to work amidst all of your chaotic rioting. Real man of genius. Steely Dem, this goes out to you, Steely Dem. You've taken the deep state Marxist playbook and jumped in as the paid troll that you are to try to throw a little bit of smoke grenade down the hallway of this liberty-loving fiesta. You know, Steely Dem really hates the freedom. Thank you, Steely Dem. To this, we salute you. Real man of genius. He's got a master's degree in gaslighting. Thank you, Steely Dem. Thank you, Steely Dem. Whew. Brian, give me the wrench. Is this your blood alcohol content, Steely Dem? 49.6%. Buddy, he really needs to lay off of our Budweiser. His blood alcohol content is 49.6%. Real dams of genius. He comes into the podcast spewing ridiculous gaslighting. Real dam of genius. Guys, if you don't know what I'm... if you don't know the commercial that I'm going to find it. Because I was crushing this. This one goes out to you, Steely Dem. for having the dumbest comment of the day, but then again, you're just reading off of your Soros script. I'm actually surprised that he even knows how to read. Real damn of genius.
Budweiser presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you.
Oh, fuck. This is too good. Thank you, Steely Dem. You are incredible. Whew. I am so happy you jumped in today. This is just fantastic. This one goes out to you, Steely Dem, for joining the podcast today.
Today we salute you, Mr. Footlong Hot Dog Inventor.
Today we salute you, Mr. Soros check cashing sock puppet account.
Mr. Footlong Hot Dog Inventor.
Mr. Soros check cashing sock puppet account.
Conventional wisdom said no one could make a hot dog longer than 6 inches. You dared to dream.
When conventional wisdom said nobody's gonna buy the bullshit you're spewing, you showed up today to make it happen anyway.
Dare to dream.
You
dare to dream.
Knew the limitations of a regular-sized hot dog bun, and you ignored them.
Can't stop me now.
You ignored the limitations of logic, common sense, and reason. Can't stop me now.
A 10-inch wiener.
A 10-inch wiener.
People cheered.
Oh!
But you weren't satisfied.
Oh!
You said, wait, I think I can still give you 2 more inches.
Gotta want it.
You gotta want it. Can you give us 2 more inches of ridiculousness? Dan, give us 2 more inches of your wiener thoughts.
Weren't satisfied. You said, wait, I think I can still give you 2 more inches.
I can give you 2 more inches. Can you give me 2 more IQ points?
I don't want it.
You gotta want your IQ points.
So this bud's for you, Mr. Hot Dog Hero. Because you gave every single one of us our fondest wish, a bigger wiener.
Man, I miss these great commercials. What was this, from the 90s? But congratulations, Delusional Dan. You are the biggest wiener of this podcast. And you are the wiener of our trophy today for most ridiculous commentary. You are the wiener.
A bigger wiener.
And thank you.
I went to...
God, that was beautiful. Oh, you were just the best. Thank you, Delusional Dan. God, that was good. You made my day so fun. God, that was great. Whew. Yeah, we love the love fest from Steely Dem. Dan is the wiener of the day. Okay, Telloro says the 80 and 90 president movies were huge in the Netherlands. And this time with Trump reminds me of a heroic president movie. Yes! Telloro, thank you for joining. Please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. And it looks like you're commenting through YouTube. Find us on Rumble as well. It's all scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We're trying to be on all the major platforms. I think we're on most of them. But yeah, I mean, we were in Milwaukee a couple of days after President Trump survived the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. The whole scene. We were there on Inauguration Day, the day before inauguration, where they had the big arena filled with Trump supporters, with Elon and the YMCA dance right before he was inaugurated the next morning. I mean, this whole thing has been a movie. It's been an epic, heroic president movie. And you can't make a better cast of demonic bad guys than Pelosi, Kinzinger, Cheney, McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Obama, Biden, Soros. Like, it's all demonic. There's such a great cast of bad guys to root against. This is so like a heroic presidential movie. What were the 80 and 90 president movies that were huge in the Netherlands? When you say the presidential movies were huge, which ones do you mean? If you could leave us a comment. Steely Dem disliked it. All right. There's always one. Suck it, losers. This is the best. This show has been my favorite show in so long. I needed a good laugh. I'm going to play you one more clip. I have memes. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is Steely Dem. This is Steely Dem saying, "Suck it, losers. I just disliked your show." Hey, let me scroll to it. Oh, I'll just play it. This is it. Here we go. Beware, everybody. Steely Dem has just disliked our show. And he says, "Suck it, losers." And it reminds me of this. Kenneth knows what I'm talking about.
All right. Better luck next time.
All right. Better luck next time.
What a nice young man.
Homer. And not that part. Homer is Steely Dem. All of you in the comments are these awesome customers. And this is me behind the bar.
I'm sorry you're mad at me, but this isn't
Steely Dem, I'm sorry you're mad at me, but this isn't
Am I right?
personal.
The last tune you're going to do for us is changes.
Wait. I didn't do that.
Which is
What the fuck just happened? What
All right. Better look
to take it off of there. What was that? That was weird. Let's try this again. Steely Dem.
young man.
Homer, I'm sorry you're mad at me,
This is Steely Dem, I'm sorry you're mad at me.
but this isn't personal. This is business.
But it isn't personal, it's just podcasting.
Business, eh? Well, let me tell you something. You just lost yourself a customer.
What? I'm sorry, Homer, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, Steely Dem, I couldn't hear you over the positive comments from all the regulars in here, stuffing wads of cash and supporting the program. But tell me again, what did you think about the show?
Said you just lost yourself a customer.
Oh, it looks like I lost myself a customer. He said, "Suck it, losers."
A customer. What? You just lost yourself a customer.
Homer, you're gonna have to speak up.
Steely Dem, you're going to have to speak up.
You just lost yourself a customer, Mo.
Steely Dem, I
forced myself to what?
I forced myself to what, Steely Dem?
You just lost yourself a customer.
Homer, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You just
Steely Dem, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
lost yourself a customer.
I'm sorry, am I supposed to suck it? You gave me a thumbs down on YouTube?
Yeah, you can use it.
Yeah, you can use it, Steely Dem. You can use it. Wah, wah. Wah, 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 la, 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 la. This might be my crowning achievement in podcasting, honestly. My ability to put my thoughts into these clips to address the Steely Dem situation has just lit a candle inside of my soul. Thank you. So suck it, losers. Steely Dem dislikes us. Bye, Dan. Or do you prefer Biden? Oh my God, Kenneth, you've been telling that joke forever. You finally got to use it because of Steely Dem. Deb from Sacramento. Dan, stop projecting. I do crack Deb up on occasion. Real comedy genius. Hello, Lou. Cipher. Interesting. I know I was saying it. Yeah. So how does it work, Steely Dem? Did Sora, like, you were on Fiverr and you're like, I can be a rent a sock puppet account? Just let me know which accounts go live on YouTube, and then I'll jump into the comments section and I'll copy paste like a paragraph of gibberish, or I'll improv off the top of my head and say some silly stuff. Real den of genius. That commercial is a wiener. Sorry, winner. No, Dan is the wiener winner. Wiener? You're such a wiener, Dan. Teloro says Patriot Games. Yeah, Patriot Games was awesome. I think what was the one I just watched with? It wasn't Grisham. It was Clancy. Patriot Games cast. This one was, yeah, some of these do blur together. Yeah, it was Jack Ryan. But the one I watched was after that. Harrison Ford is Jack Ryan. Sean Bean, James Earl Jones, Samuel L. Jackson. Okay. Yeah, Patriot Games was good. I like that one. Thank you for clarifying. Air Force One. Yeah. Clear and Present Danger. JFK, right? Oh, man, yeah. Dial a Troll. Real dem of genius. Mr. Sock Puppet Account YouTube commenter. All right, I'm going to wrap today's show up. Let's just fly through the rest of the news. God, this was so good. Thank you all. I needed this. Dr. Sherry Tenpenny says RFK Jr. has just fired all 17 members of the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Panel, ACIP. This committee has shaped decades of one-sided pharma-driven vaccine policy. RFK Jr. calls it a clean sweep to reestablish public trust in vaccine science. This is unprecedented and long overdue. The foundation is shaking. Keep your eyes open. Bravo. This LA scanner says that I want to issue a formal apology. I wouldn't have posted ICE raid locations, and I won't do it anymore. Don't target my family, please. I'm begging you to stop. Anyone I put at risk, I apologize. And James Woods is like, yeah, but this absolutely was your intention. You're not getting away with it. Robbie Starbuck reminds us a Chinese scientist from Wuhan got arrested Sunday trying to smuggle biological materials into the United States through a Detroit airport. She's the third Chinese scientist arrested in recent weeks smuggling biological materials. She wiped her devices 3 days before her trip. At what point is this an attack? We're in it. We are absolutely in this right now, people. You need to be prepared for anything and everything right now. Is this a Mexican American or an American Mexican? That reminds me of when Korn was on South Park and they're talking about ghost pirates, and then, no, it's not ghost pirates, they're pirate ghosts. No, because if they were pirate ghosts, then they would have been, but if they're ghost pirates, then it means. There's another Simpsons where it's like, Native Americans. Yes, Native Americans like me. No, American Indians. Yes, American Indians like me. No, not. I love the semantics and the verbal hopscotch that we got to play over cultural lineage as if it's important.
So let me get this straight, just so I could clarify it. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico, but you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States, the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave, but yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride. Okay.
Make it make sense.
That seems normal to you? That seems logical? That's not stupid at all? None of that's stupid. All right. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture. You guys are an embarrassment to everybody around you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Do better.
Yeah, do better. There you go. Yeah, rioters are being given earplugs, gas masks, and water bottles to throw at police, per Bill Malugin. Fox LA reporting truckloads of bionic shields costing $60 each delivered to rioters. Nothing organic about this. Who is funding this? This former active duty Marine says LA better hope they don't send in the Marines because they will be pissed off Marines from the 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines stationed in one of the worst places on earth, 29 Palms, California. They would love to go to Los Angeles if for nothing else than to get out of the heat. The overwhelming majority of these Marines will follow every single order they're given. Rioters in LA, you are asking for it. So there's your stand down order. John Rich says he found a Craigslist ad for tough badasses for the riots that pays up to $12,500 a week. Who's bankrolling that kind of money? Yeah, it's $50,000 a month. That's $600,000 a year. That's good. Here's a video from Yucaipa, California, saying, fuck your protest and your foreign flags. Support your local ICE raids. I spent quite a bit of time in Yucaipa, actually. It's a wonderful place. Yeah, and in America, we fly American flags, all right? Yeah, the difference between reality and the legacy media. Check this out. This is like Deep State Dan, who tried joining us today with his sock puppet account.
The LA County
Deep State Dan, should we call him?
Police say that they have it under control. Carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know. What did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot.
Video after video has shown that these agents are the ones provoking protesters and also making up.
Can you believe the gall to say it's the agents of law and order who are creating the riot? Can you imagine being on the wrong side of every 80-20 issue like the Democrat Party?
And also making up, aggression by these protesters.
Look at this. Look at the side by side.
Later video shows people were not aggressive.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest. The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting.
Unrest is isolated.
Fiery, but mostly peaceful.
Of people peacefully protesting.
Unrest is isolated. LA is home to millions of people, most of whom are having a normal day here on Sunday.
You've heard reports that there are riots on the streets of Los Angeles. That is not what's happening across the city of Los Angeles.
Governor Newsom's right. There wasn't anything like a riot happening on Friday, Saturday.
We just witnessed
nothing like a riot.
A protester thanking a National Guardsman for his service here in California.
LAPD, by most estimates, had this under control last night.
No, I don't think the National Guard is needed now.
Oh, Karen Bass. She seems to be really tied to the color revolutions across the country, a trained communist in the vein of Fidel Castro. What is California doing? Why is Los Angeles not recalled her?
Things in LA are calm. There was a protest that got a little unruly late at night.
There have been no violence where anybody that was protesting hit anybody, shot
no violence,
anybody, threatened anybody. Nothing has happened.
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
Most of those demonstrators were very peaceful. They were chanting, they were shouting. People were driving by, honking their horns.
Yeah. The side-by-side says it all, doesn't it? Police responding to anti-ICE protests in LA as Trump sends in the Marines. There we go. Send that. Done. Perfect. All right. Laura Logan. Oh, let's see. Wall Street Mav. Let me do this in order. ICE protesters are throwing tear gas canisters back at the police. Somehow they've acquired leaf blowers to blow the tear gas back at police officers and away from rioters.
ICE demonstrators and protesters clash with law enforcement. There is an unlawful assembly order declared by the LAPD, and those on the highway, remaining on the highway, are subject to arrest right now. So I'm not exactly
playing
sure
soccer here with the tear gas.
What they're about. Gas masks for law
What a
enforcement
wimpy
right now.
throw.
Flashbangs
Holy
masks
shit, look at
for
this wimpy throw.
What they're about. Gas masks.
What was
for
that?
Law enforcement right now. Flashbangs, tear gas, what different tools they use
What
to
was
hope
that?
to move these individuals. And you can see them potentially fanning some of the gas back toward law enforcement. An interesting
It's not a
tactic
leaf
with
blower,
all
though.
that
Do you have
as
leaf
this
blowers?
scene is unfolding of almost 4 hours, not the National Guard members.
Well, there's a leaf blower. Yeah, good luck. That ain't gonna do it, though. And there they are, attempted murder. Throwing 10 to 20 pounds cinder blocks into the windshield on the police officer. There's BG on the scene.
Protesters clash with law enforcement.
Wall
There's
Street
an
Map says these are
unlawful
well-paid,
assembly,
well-trained protesters. Laura Logan says they perfected this technique during the riots in Hong Kong. They wrote about it in their anarchist website, Crime Ethnic. They call it move like water. The crowd moves like water away from the gas, and a designated trained individual from the gas squad moves in with a mask, throws back the canister, and the crowd moves like water back to where they were so that they don't lose any ground. It's all coordinated and planned. It's all coordinated and planned globally. Look it up. So Gavin says, the president just called for the arrest of a sitting governor. This is a day I hoped I'd never see in America. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. It's a line we cannot cross as a nation. This is an unmistakable step toward authoritarianism.
Become an arrestor.
And he's asked if Tom Homan should make a decision to go arrest him. He said, I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. He didn't say he would do it, and he didn't say he's pressuring Tom to do it. Very different question. JD Vance says, do your job. That's all we're asking. Gavin says, do your job. We didn't have a problem until Trump got involved. Bullshit. Rescind the order. Return control to California. You lost control of California, Gavin Newsom. You have totally lost control of Gavin Newsom. Wait, what did I say? You've totally lost control of Gavin Newsom of California. So on Saturday, June 14, the left is planning mass protests across the United States. The No Kings organization is the funder. It'd be nice to find out who funds them and have their funds frozen. I'll put the link in the first comment so you can see where in your area to avoid. You just type in your zip code above the map and it'll show you all locations near you. I was surprised that Seattle wasn't on the list, but a small city where I work is. Be safe, as I expect there could be mass chaos, especially near coastal regions. This is the photograph of the man delivering boxes of gas masks to the rioters. Time to ID this guy. Hundreds of police cars across California spanning 3 blocks have arrived in Los Angeles, a massive show of force. This never would have happened if Trump didn't force them to step up, says Nick Sorter. Carter Hughes says violent riots have now been reported in over 30 American cities. Albertsville, Alabama, Aurora, Colorado, Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, Pflugerville, Phoenix, Denver, Salt Lake, Seattle, Portland, Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Philly, New York, Washington, Atlanta, Charlotte, Richmond, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Vegas, New Orleans, Boston, Santa Fe, Sacramento, San Francisco, Oakland, Glendale, Compton, Paramount, Quincy, Lansing, Charleston, Omaha, Aberdeen, Pierre, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, Miami, Tampa, and Orlando. By the way, let's overlay Obama on top of this. Well, it's a very inconvenient video.
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
And let's find out if they're going to sanction this video, because there's the quietest generic music playing.
Members of Congress who question my authority to make our immigration system work better, or question the wisdom of me acting where Congress has failed, I have one answer. Pass a bill.
Yeah, pass a bill. You know, LA has a brand. In 92, there's a riot in LA. 2013, riot in LA. 2020, riot in LA. 25, there's a riot in LA. It's what they do. Brian Cates says, what protocols have been put in place if a sizable chunk of the U.S. Congress has indictments unsealed against them for being involved even tangentially in a plot to assassinate a U.S. president, on top of all of the other illegal criminal shit they've been doing? Asking for no reason in particular. This Brian Cates is being very, very coy, dropping a lot of hints that stuff is on the verge of happening. Hey, here's Cat Williams. He has thoughts on America.
No, this ain't Mexico. It used to be Mexico, mother. And now it's Phoenix, goddammit. I bet you don't leave here and go to Mexico, mother. Motherfuckers think they can live in this country and then still be allegiance to another fucking country. If you love Mexico, get the over there. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's so...
Damn, that's the look of, oh shit. It was at this moment that it was at this moment that he realized he fucked up. Ruh-roh. So Cat Williams has thoughts on it. Anyway, that's what I had to share with you today. Thank you for becoming a part of today's awesome program. You can hear the Battle Hymn of the Republic, says David Ban. Heck yeah, buddy. All right, I'm signing out. Tomorrow or the next day, I might have a surprise for you. I might be bringing a special guest in. We'll see how it goes. I'll have a conversation. We might have a special guest, maybe even a special temporary part-time co-host. I don't know. Coin flip chance. But we'll find out when we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right. I'm going to sign out now. On behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll try to go a little earlier tomorrow, provided Nimbus doesn't. Try to get there a little early tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled, and we'll be back very soon. Until then, I appreciate you. I love you. Especially Deep State Dan. And we will talk to you again soon. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.